Assalamu alaikum from Norfolk, Virginia in the United States of America. And Ramadan Mubarak, almost, very soon. This is a message, a very special performance message for all of the students of the ICAS school in Islamabad and Ziba Raza. Once upon a time, your school performed and created some wonderful artwork to go with this peace fable that I had written. It's called The Mouse and the Light. And I'm going to do a very special reading just for your school right now. And then perhaps your teachers can also show you the performances of the other stories that I've been reading. The Mouse and the Light. In the center of the most beautiful garden in the world stood the tree of wisdom. From this great tree there grew many branches and leaves, and it spread its roots throughout the land. The tree was a place of comfort. Creatures would often come to it and sit in its shade and feel its great truths. For many years there was harmony, but then one day, a shade from a long branch decided it was not happy. The shade did not wish to give comfort or shelter. "Fools!" cried the shade as it spread beneath the tree. "I know more than any of them. I am not made to serve. I should rule over everything." And so it was. In pride and hatred, the shade tugged and pulled and stretched itself until at last it was able to break its attachment to the great tree. It became the first shadow. Instead of using its power to give shade, it created only cold darkness that blinded all those it touched to the truth. Instead of using its voice to impart great truths to those around it, the shadow whispered only lies to those around it. The shadow crept away from the tree of wisdom, and it drifted far off into a barren place where it crawled into a hole in the sand and it sank deep, deep into the earth. The shadow grew and it plotted. It would wait beneath the surface until a sad or doubting creature came near, and then the shadow would rise up and overtake the unsuspecting creature and blind it to the truth and bend it to its will. Over many years and many miles, the shadow created an underground army. Then the army of the shadow began to strike without warning, bringing fear, sadness, and hatred to innocent creatures. "You cannot fight," it lied. "I will win." Some began to hide and fear the very light of day, for they thought that it was the cause of the shadow. Others began to hate and fear all of the shadows of the world, all of the shade, because they couldn't tell the difference between shadow and shade. It came to pass that creatures began to feel angry towards all things different from themselves. They even became afraid of their own shadows. They stayed in their homes, and when they went out, they didn't go far. But one day, a field mouse came up to the tree of wisdom, and it shook its small fist, and it said, "How could you bring such a terror upon us? Why is this allowed to continue?" The great tree bowed its huge trunk. It shook, and leaves fell like tears, but it didn't answer. Then a voice spoke from all around. "I created light and darkness. I made creatures great and small. To one and all I gave the power to build or destroy, bring joy or pain. One among you has chosen darkness and pain, but this is not my wish. Though dazzled by being in the presence of this great power, the mouse was still angry. Why do you not stop the shadow? The mouse asked. Because I have given that power to those the shadow harms. The shadow has grown through a lack of caring in creatures, but now it is your job to stop it, the great voice answered. And the voice told the mouse how to win. You cannot live in fear. Fear only makes the shadow grow. To be rid of darkness, shine a powerful light of truth. To be rid of cold, bring only warmth with you wherever you go. The mouse answered, I will go and tell the others what you have taught me, but I will remember not to hate, because hate only makes the shadow stronger. The mouse was still very worried. I am only one small being. The shadows are so many. How can I ever hope to succeed? Suddenly, the mouse was surrounded by a beautiful golden light and warmth. You will know that as the shadow began as one dark being, now the light will grow with you, my smallest messenger. And so it was that one tiny creature set out into the world, and with every kind word it spoke, with every truth it told, the world around it healed. Others joined the mouse, and soon the light grew and the shadows faded. And one by one, the shadow's followers fell before the mouse and the light. The shadow sank back into its hole in the earth, vanishing like drops of water in the burning sand of time. Every one of you is a mouse. And that's very good, because in every one of you, there is the light. And all you need to do is to share it. Don't let the shadows take over. The mice always win in the end. The battles are long and they're hard. There will be darkness, but darkness always gives way to the light.